I'm confident. I'm confident. I like the way that I look. Um, you know, I I have a different kind of swagger. It's not like I'm full of myself or anything, but like I'm looking at this myself in the Zoom camera right now, and it's like this, that I had that double chin going on.
All righty, all righty. So, welcome. It's Coach T here with.
Louise Jones.
There we go. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, where your name, where
Okay.
you're from, how young you are, and go from there.
Sure. It's Louise Jones, and I'm from the Chicagoland area. And I just hit 63 years young, and
Damn.
life is good. Life is good. I can't complain.
Heard that. Heard that. So, as you know, we're gonna get into a little interview basically to
Mhm.
captivate your progress you've made so far in your journey along this wonderful fitness route. So with that being said, let's take it from the top. What are your thoughts essentially like how would you describe your fitness before joining transformation coaching? How did you feel and things like that?
It was a roller coaster. I never quite hit my goals. I didn't know what I was doing, so I was putting in lots of work as far as the fitness was concerned, doing like crazy things like F45 jumping benches and things like that. And while people were telling me I looked good, I still didn't feel good. And I definitely was not building the muscle that I wanted to, that I thought I should have. So, yeah, definitely a roller coaster. I dropped the weight, drop a couple of pounds, put it right back on.
Um, okay, I like that. And I want to say I heard how you said F45.
Mhm.
Quick question on that. Was that something you did research yourself and kind of just said, "Oh, what the hell, I'll give it a try," or is that something somebody kind of referred to you and you just saw it and just said, "You know what, let me just give it a try."
Yeah, they actually at the gym that I was going to started offering it as sort of a boutique in the basement area. I was
Hmm.
like, "Ooh, let's try this." I mean, it definitely was a challenge, and there were all these beautiful, well-built women, and they really talked it up. And at that time, I was starting to do things like TRX and challenging myself. It was right across the street from work, so I could go at lunchtime and get a workout in 45 minutes. Hey,
That is the
it
highlight.
was a
Yeah, that is
challenge.
true.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of challenges, that actually brings us to our next portion. So, what would you say was your biggest challenge with starting your journey before transformation coaching?
Just not uh being completely committed. Stepping halfway in. Um, I definitely didn't want to consistently go past that comfort level,
Hmm.
because when you really start working and digging in, it does get a bit uncomfortable. You're breathing hard, the heart rate's up there, and
Yeah.
you're like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna have a heart attack. What am I doing? So that was a challenge, really being committed and focusing on what those goals were.
Okay. And then I want to capitalize too as well as you said you're like halfway in, halfway out kind of vibe. What did that look like for you personally? Like what was your halfway in, halfway out?
Um, let's see.
Just any example, anytime you can remember, like any.
Yeah, I mean, even like doing push-ups, I wanted to do push-ups so bad.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay on my knees with it.
Yeah.
This one, I can't get down on the floor like that. So I would not give 100%. Again, when it started hurting,
Hmm.
or that heart rate started going up a little bit higher than I was comfortable with, um, I stepped back.
Fair enough. So stayed right in that little sweet spot, that comfort
Right,
zone with it. Yeah.
right, yeah.
Okay. And then, so when you finally heard about transformation coaching, What were you looking to accomplish when you first joined up?
Um, I knew that I had finally got a program where I actually dropped, like 20 pounds. So I knew it was possible. And so I think what I was missing was that accountability piece. So when I saw the Transform video or Khalil out there, and he started talking about, like even the fast food thing, because
Yeah.
I thought I finally knew how to look up my macros and I was starting to work with that.
Mhm.
Again, I didn't have a full understanding, but and then he was like, you can eat fast food and la la la, and so I stepped in just to try it, just to get the information from him. And fortunately for me, he didn't let me stop there. I think he knew I was ready. I just didn't know I was ready.
hmm And boy, oh boy, were you ready? And you never gave up to it. And that was one thing that I would say from my end, like to you,
Mhm.
from the very beginning, it wasn't much pushback. You were always willing to meet me halfway as well. And then also, you spoke your mind. If we had to make adjustments, we made the adjustments. You weren't afraid to ask questions and you stayed locked in, form checks, everything. So you got everything suited, and then slowly but surely, oh coach, I'm lifting more weights now, I'm doing more reps, and everything was kind of falling in line. So it was really, really good to see you like flourish, literally from when you started until like even now. So that's really good to see. And then, in your personal opinion, what would you say was your biggest success in the program? What did you learn? Your takeaways, anything like that?
um, really, wow. I mean, there's so many. Um, Yeah, I know that I like to, do that little backtrack thing. So even though I worked with you, I still have that tendency of holding back on things that I'm not comfortable with. So right now I'm at the abs. I really, my abs should be more defined.
Mhm.
Um, but well, let's just step back. The biggest success is that I know when to cut, how to cut, um, how to exercise to gain whatever it is that I'm looking for. I mean, I in past programs, I feel like I just got dropped on my head. But with this, you guys really teach us about what the program is and how to follow it ourselves, how to create our own programs as we grow. And so that's where we're at right now. So I'm really excited about the possibility. I hit my goal that I wanted to hit with you guys, but now I want more. you know, I definitely don't want to be, Miss Bulky, but now I'm just like, oh yeah, it's actually possible to really see definition in my abs. I'm seeing it in my back, in my shoulders, my arms. Um, just that consistency. And the thing is, what I do today is more than what I did yesterday. I just keep building on it. So yeah, I'm thrilled. I love this.
I love that.
Mhm.
I love that. I actually do love that. You touched on a lot of key points as well, especially like the learning aspect instead of just kind of, just being dropped on your head to like learn not only like what you're doing, but essentially like what it does and then able to maintain it yourself in a sense. Like, you know a lot more than when you first came in with. So now even if you wanted to build something on your own or like questions you had before, it kind of like you kind of see how everything kind of melts together into one for the bigger picture. That's good. And
Mhm.
then now with basically with the success that you've had through the program and what you and everything you've achieved, how do you feel right now? Like how do you feel now that you've been in the program for a good little minute now and you've accomplished those goals and learned everything you've learned so far?
I'm confident. I'm confident. I like the way that I look. Um, you know, I I have a different kind of swagger. It's not like I'm full of myself or anything, but like I'm looking at this myself in the Zoom camera right now, and it's like this, that I had that double chin going on,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing all this stuff smoothing out. I know that,
Cheekbones are popping out too.
huh?
Your cheekbones popping out
Yeah,
too. Just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I picked up a 50-pound dumbbell yesterday, and it was like nothing, and I'm like, when did that happen?
Hmm.
Um, so I know that, as I age and, this happens to all of us, we lose that muscle mass. And, I still have aches. My low back still, yells at me occasionally, but not in the same way. And I saw my parents age badly. And I don't want to go that way. I mean, this is, I see how important it is to be able to bend, squat, lift, move. Um, and so that's something that's going to follow me. I just can't let my body um, just shrink up on itself. And it's just a natural part of life, right? That happens. But, since many of us are dust bound, uh, it happens faster. And as an independent, that's not the way I want to go out. I'd really love to end it either in my sleep or just have a heart attack. I'm sorry. It's terrible for me to
On
say it
your
like
own
that,
terms,
but
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm loving this. It's just like, okay, even on the days when I don't feel like getting all my steps in, I feel so much better when I get up and move. So that's I used to be I want to sleep extra late and 2 hours, 3 hours. It might be close to lunchtime before I roll out of that bed. Now I can't do that now. I just
Hmm.
can't do it.
You're on a nice little routine.
Hmm.
And then I would say, so out of all the skills or any like everything you picked up from the program, if you had to give me, say, two or three skills, your two or three top skills learned, what would you say they are that you picked up that you didn't know before?
Oh, how to properly eat. Because I have a tendency of not eating enough. I will just ignore. So the importance of a balanced meal. Um, Top three, get up and move. Um, Three is consistency in whatever you do.
That is true.
Hmm.
That is true. That's definitely I would say out of everything you just said though, the consistency is definitely the biggest piece because we've all been there before as well. You already know, like, you start working out or start with the diet and number the pounds might roll off in the beginning, then you go through that stagnant phase where you're like, oh, there's no like, progress getting made, da da da. But progress is getting made. It's just not necessarily the way you might want it to roll. And then one day it's like, boom, you just bust through the plateau. But in
Hmm.
reality, you were still moving. You just weren't moving necessarily as fast as you wanted to, but because you stayed consistent and you stayed locked in, the bigger picture now revealed itself to you. The curtains came up. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good on that. And then just a couple more questions I want to ask. So, would you recommend a friend to join transformation coaching and why?
Absolutely. It's a life it really is. It is a way of life. And it's not something you'll lose. I mean, if you lock in and you try this, it's not going to kill you. It's not this super, you get on these programs where you lose that weight in 5 minutes and, you know, you don't learn anything. But that's not the way this works, you know? So yeah, definitely.
Okay. And then last but not least, essentially, what does your transformation mean to you personally?
Man, it's life. It's life right now. Yeah, it's just, I'm in my own zone and I did this. I did this for me. Despite and you'll find that there will be people who will want to sabotage you. I don't know what that is. I don't it's like, well, why do you eat that way? Why do you eat that? Um, because it's important to me. I have a goal and I'm trying to reach it. And I'm getting very vocal about that. It's like just stop trying to get me to do things your way because that's not gonna,
Not gonna work.
it doesn't work. So,
Fair enough. And I lied. I have actually one more question that I actually did not ask you. Out of
mhm.
the whole experience altogether, everything, start to finish, whatever, what would you say was your favorite part? Like, what was your actual like most like breathtaking or favorite part, fun part, like in everything, just in general? Like whether it's seeing yourself do a movement you've never done before, or the weight come out, like just like literally, what was your favorite part that blew
Honestly,
you away?
I said this recently because I started doing these supersets, and man, I never thought I'd want to go back to doing any of the jumping exercises, burpees and definitely not the planking and all that stuff. And there's a move at the end where I'm just doing push-ups followed by oh, now all of a sudden I can't even remember it. It's I'm down on the floor though, so I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing jump squats,
Mm.
and I love the way that feels. And followed by planking. Oh yeah, mountain climbers. And I
Mhm.
hated mountain climbers. Back in the day when I was doing, that's big on F45, functional fitness.
Functional fitness, yeah.
And so recently, so first of all, that is whenever I do that and I'm in the gym, and this is, like one of those little small neighborhood gyms where they have all the equipment,
Mhm.
and I don't see a lot of people doing functional fitness. They're lifting weights, they're on the machines, and whenever I do that, I feel like I'm a beast. I'm not, the sweat is coming off of me and that heart rate is up. And it's just like I'm drilling in. And when I get down on the floor and I do my little push ups, I'm like, I got this. So I'm looking forward to, you know, progressing, I mean? So I've always wanted to do, pull-ups, right? You know,
Mhm.
so now I'm looking at the bar going, yeah, you need to start hanging. you know. So yeah, it's this personal. Apparently I'm competitive. I didn't know that, but I'm competitive with myself. I just want to see where I can go with this. Again, I don't want to be Wonder Woman. I'm definitely not into bodybuilding. I don't want to bulk up. I like the shape that I have, but I also love seeing these, the muscles showing up in places. I think it's so sexy looking at my back going, wow, I got definition.
Hell yeah.
So,
And
but
then no,
that it's
and
off.
I will say too, another thing that like as far I just want to capitalize off what you said. There's a lot of stuff in this world that like money can buy and all that, but you know that every time you look in that mirror, like you did that. Like that
Mhm.
wasn't something you picked up and paid 19.99 a month for, or like, or you paid for an injection or whatever.
Mhm.
Like that's something that you authentically, literally like bust your butt, eating right, getting the right exercises and rest, recovery, all of that. And it's you.
Yep.
Like it's literally off of your own hard work and dedication.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. Well, with that being said, do you have anything else that you wanted to add? Anything extra or?
No, just thank you, coach. I mean, you asked me when we first talked, just trust me,
You know, your
and
man's like,
trust the
okay.
process. And it's like, yeah, okay, but and just to let folks know that, yeah, it for some people it seems like it comes overnight, but the one thing about this is that you go at your own pace, so when you said I need you to walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes, I didn't do that every time. But what I do today again is more than what I did yesterday. um it doesn't matter, it's that you just got to get up and